welcome to our podcast. I'm Ethan Kahn, and I'm here today with Aiden Huffman.
How's it going?
So we are going to be watching this Jubilee video. If you don't know about Jubilee, they are a like an organization that just spreads awareness on just like different topics and information. So today it is about should men have a say, pro versus anti-abortion teens. So the structure of our podcast is we're just going to do like 5 minutes in each section and then give our little info and thoughts and yeah. So let's get it
Let's
going.
get after it. Here we go. So the first what's it called? First topic up for discussion is I have had unprotected sex. You know what?
Yep.
We'll go back and then
Actually, if you want to go a little, yeah, start it early. Start early.
we'll just start it early.
So this is them sitting down if they've had unprotected sex.
There's two dudes in the back. Let's go.
The first time that I had sex, I didn't have the knowledge that I should have. I think, I didn't know what Plan B was until I started having sex. That just like, maybe I missed that day in class, but that was not taught in sex ed. So I didn't know what Plan B was until I started having sex. But now I'm a lot more educated, a lot more comfortable. Like I'm on birth control, but obviously like birth control isn't always effective, isn't always accessible. So I understand like my privilege in that.
Well, the first time that I had unprotected sex was a couple months ago with my fiance. We're both adults.
See, that's
and
acceptable,
we were
you know?
In
It is.
a real period of
It's
Procreating
I'll
with
say
your
that
true
God-
lover.
the godly way.
miscarriage,
Yeah.
I think about a month before, after we'd had protected sex.
The first time that I had unprotected sex was unprotected sex was with the person that I am currently married to.
Wow.
We got married straight out of high school. I was 18.
Little high school
It was like a
sweethearts.
week after I graduated.
Dang.
And
Sounds
we
like
really
Lily.
stayed together. And
Yeah.
And
the
Jake.
idea of having a child, you know.
Shout out to
Jake.
them.
Right now,
Shout out Jake and
Yeah.
Lily. And she's pregnant. Let's go.
You know, so
Shout out Constance.
unprotected sex
Yeah,
to get
Constance,
here.
not Lily.
Are you going to
There we go.
college, or do you have a job? Like how's that working?
So I mainly do activism. I try to advocate for people who are in the same position as the person inside of me right now. And I think that the value of their life is intrinsic to every fetus. So honestly, right now, I'm just chilling as an activist.
But do you make money?
Sometimes, if my followers give me some.
Sick.
Depends. When you were having unprotected sex, would you say that you would have been financially stable enough to have a child?
No.
No. Would you say you would have been emotionally ready enough to have a child?
No.
Okay. All right then.
I think I was in kind of a similar situation to you. Not
Go
so much
Joey!
because I was pressured by a partner.
Joey.
Joey.
Anything like that, but because the sex ed courses that we had, like yours was lacking, were very lacking in terms of queer sexual education. And the sex I was having, I thought I
that's
didn't
like the
need any
super
kind of
comb over.
protection for it because
The super
I was
comb
sleeping with people
kinda
who couldn't
tough.
get me pregnant.
Wait, can we hit on that real quick? Just real fast. I would just like to point out, I feel like the reason that queer sex education was never, it never came to be in public education because I feel like the real purpose of sex education was to teach people how to utilize, the act in itself, how to be safe about it, how to be careful about it, and how to use it properly. The correct way.
To procreate, yeah. And just be safe and clean and everything, and just.
I
it's
believe
meant to be.
I believe they don't teach sex education because, it's based queer sex is, based purely off of lust and pleasure, and it's not made for, procreation, for making children. Anyways, I just wanted to say that.
This is a good topic, yeah.
Unprotected sex.
Got
I was
about
young
2
enough to
minutes
not
here on
know
this
what
topic.
Sex even was. So I was very much manipulated and groomed by someone
Oh,
in my
shoot.
life to think that what I was doing was okay and normal, and that scared me because you know,
I mess
when
with their
I
earrings.
finally told my parents,
What are
it
those?
wasn't a really good
Why long?
conversation where they were like, of course they were shocked because that person is in our family. And they were like, that isn't real, you're just trying to get it for attention kind of thing. And then,
Did you hear that,
but in
Ethan?
a sense, I knew that they believed me
I did
because
hear
we
that.
went to
That's nuts.
How would you feel
convenience
if your
Walmart
parents just
and bought
wow?
a pregnancy test because they were like, if you are pregnant, you can't
Okay,
tell
let's hear the
anyone
rest of
Like
this.
terribly.
that it's his.
Oh my-
You have to say that we adopted another child. And you
Damn!
have to
What?
keep that
Oh,
baby.
sorry.
I did not want to have a
Damn.
baby at a very young age. I was not emotionally ready. I was not financially ready. I was still in school trying to think like I have a future for myself that I want to do, you know?
That must have
Fortunately,
been
I was not
daunting.
pregnant.
That must have been horrible. Hang on.
Oh, she wasn't. She wasn't pregnant. She wasn't pregnant.
She wasn't pregnant. That's good. But that is still terrible to have to go
Like-
through something like that.
Just her parents, man, just like completely, just like abandoning like all like, I guess like trust in her daughter. Like,
Yeah.
just
It's
'cause-
nuts. It's insane, and it's so sad how like there's people like that in the world that still think that way. That's nuts to
Yeah,
me.
it's just eye-opening just to see how
Yeah.
many like how different people like some
Yeah,
people
no,
actually are, you know.
you're
and, like,
exactly
how they
right.
think.
It is
just-
eye-opening. It's a grounding
we need to
and
be ready
humbling
for it.
experience. Yeah,
hmm
precisely. Couldn't agree more.
I
People
think the
can't
younger
achieve-
generation all should be ready for that. That like, not all people think alike, you know.
Yeah,
Some
absolutely.
people-
You have to.
Like literally have, I'm not gonna say things wrong, but like twisted perspectives on things.
Yeah, that's a
So,
good way to put it. Yeah, that's a great way to put it. Yeah, I think everybody should be prepared for that.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. No, I couldn't agree more. Now back to the album.
Got a
Bright futures
got about
when they
40
have
seconds
children.
here.
They can achieve bright futures if they have a child. I just knew that I wouldn't have been able to achieve that future.
Well, there are like resources available, particularly for people who are student parents, for people who are on-campus parents who have children, babies, toddlers, children of all ages. There are also resources in terms of
Man.
crisis pregnancy centers, also known as pregnancy help centers.
Honestly,
There's thousands of
I want
them
to skip. I want to see what the guys have to say.
Yeah, that's good.
Let's just see what they have to say.
These are the big fellas.
I've not had sex yet, and that's just because of my religious ethical code and moral code. I've been
Dude, morals,
I'm
man.
a Catholic. I've been raised in a Christian household, and I just don't see that as something that's beneficial or valuable to my life at this point. There's been times when
Okay,
I've
that's
questioned if I was
pretty
ready,
huge. They
questioned
gotta
my
they
faith,
gotta.
but,
I know
I've
there's
just
like a
kinda
lot of
found
like
my way back
liberal
to the
stuff
church
on
and
here, and
agreeing
he's
with the
we got a
church's
Catholic
teachings,
here, so that'll be a little
I've never really
different.
had a desire.
Shout out to the Pope,
and I was
R.I.P.
in
or
foster
rest
care
in
as a
peace.
child, and so I
Hopefully
witnessed a lot of
we'll get
sexual
a-
violence there.
what
and,
Waller said, a
it's just
conservative
been
pope would
one of those things
be,
I almost feel like just subconsciously I never
beneficial.
really wanted.
Would.
So I
To
really
his-
don't see myself like living in a sexual relationship with another at this time of my life, just because it just isn't really what I feel like is right for me.
Sort of in the same.
Same, man, I feel
topic
you.
as well, but I'm not. I haven't had sex before. It's not just because I'm Catholic. It's like there are other reasons as to why
Luke.
I haven't, such as pair bonding, and I think just it helps to keep the marital act within marriage because newsflash, sex makes babies. So I think it's just good for a child to have a mother.
Yeah, that-
Newsflash, Joey!
Families are sort of separated. It causes a lot of problems for children, especially like with divorce.
She didn't like
also.
that.
Surveys have shown that
She
the
did
divorce
not.
is often worse than the death of a parent, just because it's just like, at least you know, like when the parent has passed, it's like they didn't leave you behind. So
I have 2 questions for you. The first one is where did you get those
Okay.
surveys from?
I don't remember. I was just in passing, but
That's
I don't
fine.
really know.
The second thing I wanted to ask, you said something about sex always making babies. Well, you didn't say always. You said sex makes babies, and I would love to challenge that a little bit because
It's not the only reason for.
I really
sex.
want-
It's just like you have the pair bonding and sort of the emotional.
Yeah, let's wait till
going on
Luke's.
between the two
Yeah,
people, but
we'll let Luke go.
Sort of the telos, the primary purpose of it, sort of is for that, but there's other legitimate sort of secondary reasons.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you would say that the primary purpose of all sex is babies?
Because I wouldn't say all sex, because there's times where you can't conceive because like the woman cycles, so she's not always fertile. But I think it's just the natural order of that act is for having children.
Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more.
What they were getting at is to
All right,
not
Pot.
Yeah. So
So I think what Joey was getting a little seemed not hostile, but a little bit like excited about what he said. Like that she's talking about the queer sex, like we talked about before, and like how that really wasn't made to in the image of what sex was supposed to be. So, like with people that like can't have babies, I guess it's just like more of a, like you said, a pleasure thing, I guess.
Yeah.
So I don't know. What are your thoughts? It's a
well,
little.
so I see what you're saying. I would say that, well, like Luke was saying, he was talking about how sex. Oh no. Wait, yeah, he was saying that sex. What did he say? He was talking about how sex does something to marriage. It creates almost a spark. I'm not gonna
Like a bond.
like a bond. Yeah, he was talking about the pair bonding or whatever. I believe that sex is the closest that you will ever get to anyone's soul. Honestly,
Yeah,
that's it.
I
I believe that
Yeah.
it's a true, genuine bond that you shouldn't share with anyone but the person that you love. And I'm not saying you're a bad person if you've performed that premaritally, but I'm just saying, like, speaking.
Don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure in the Bible it says, this is just from my view and my stuff, but that you're giving almost a piece of yourself
Yes.
every time
Yeah,
you're doing that.
yeah, that's
You're
exactly
giving a piece
right.
of yourself to that person.
Yes,
So,
and I believe
I
that
don't know.
type of bond shouldn't just be meddled with. I believe it should be taken seriously, and I'm not gonna judge anyone. Obviously, I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect, but you know, I
All right, I agree.
yeah, I honestly yeah. Anyways, so we'll move to the next topic.
So we'll start it right there. All right.
I have had an abortion.
All right. Let's see who comes up.
Let's roll.
Only dos.
I had mine about a year and a half ago. And I've never felt shame, never felt regret. I've never
Right
even
off the
second
back, are
guessed
you
my
serious?
choice. Surprisingly, my parents are Middle Eastern immigrants, and they were like very supportive. The 9 months of pregnancy isn't considered to be a challenge in its own. It's like, oh, you can give the child up for adoption. Oh, there are like resources, there are crisis pregnancy centers, but those 9 months, that's still morning sickness. That's still doctor visits. I had to go to the ER in the very short time that it took me finding out that I was pregnant to getting the actual abortion because I thought I had an ectopic pregnancy because that's what my gynecologist told me. There are so many things.
Okay, couple things to hit on real quick. First thing,
Yeah, right off the bat.
right off the rip, she says, I don't regret it. I don't regret my decision. I wasn't unhappy with it.
No
And
shame.
You
no
know,
nothing.
you know what I truly think that is? I don't think that's her speaking from her brain. I think that's her kind of almost like defending herself from any negative feedback. Like, it's almost, it's like she's preventing herself. It's all like, you could compare it to like a cramp. Like, a cramp is only preventable. Her saying those words is like hydrating, you know what I'm saying? So she doesn't cramp, she doesn't get that negative feedback, because that's one of the things that a lot of anti-abortionists argue is like, women are typically, I mean, I don't know, if it was me and I had to, for whatever reason, for some reason, just abort my baby, I would shut down, man. It would be terrible.
Yeah.
I would feel horrible. I'm losing another human being
That's like
is
a
my
connection,
child.
mini-me,
It's
bro.
a connection,
Mini-me.
literally. And So, anyways, and then the second thing I wanted to point out was she just talked about it.
Go to the ER.
Oh yeah, her gynecologist was telling her about some sort of pregnancy. Coach Waller's actually talked to us about this. He feels, we shouldn't go after the women that are aborting their babies. We should go after the doctors that are making, like, poor innocent women that maybe aren't as educated.
The doctors that are making bank
Or
off
they just
doing abortions
they think
every
they can
day.
just trust their doctor because the doctor's more qualified than them. But
Yeah.
she listened to her doctor and she got an abortion. That just, you know what I'm saying? Like that's just hardcore evidence that like what Waller's talking about is true. Like it's a real thing.
Like the not younger masses, I'd say we're getting better. Like,
Yeah, I would say
that we're getting more educated, but it's more of the abortion standpoint is like you're not really seeing like everything that's going to affect, and like you're hearing just like almost like just side information that's not really the whole like
yeah,
point or aspect of
you're
it.
not getting the yeah, I agree. I know what you're saying. You
Yeah.
put it well.
All
right, let's keep going.
Let's get it cooking.
So we
The
kind
short
of
time that it took me finding out
No,
that
that
I
was
was
good.
pregnant to getting the actual abortion, because I thought I had an ectopic pregnancy, because that's what my gynecologist told me.
See,
There
there
are
she
so
goes
many
again,
things
talking
to
about-
consider. I can't go to school if
Yep.
I'm sick.
Gynecologist.
If I'm
That's-
already, mental health isn't something that's secure for me. And then on the top of that, I'm going to have to deal with thinking about this pregnancy. Are people going to judge me for being a teen mom?
Okay.
I mean,
so
I would.
had an
Okay, I'm not
abortion
gonna
fairly
say that.
recently.
No, I
had
know.
one about 2 to 3 days before my recent birthday last year in November. It was a very unexpected event. I remember having symptoms almost immediately. I was about 6 weeks, I believe, 5 weeks and 7 days. I actually did not suspect I was pregnant because I had been going through some traumatic life events that threw my cycle off. My period was on average 40 days late, so I just didn't suspect anything when I was 6 days
Whoa!
late that
I
last
thought it
cycle.
was supposed to be like
And my
okay, yeah,
boyfriend,
okay. It was
Yeah.
only supposed to be like 2 or 3 days, is what I've heard.
My current
Just from
circumstances
information,
had a
but
feeling.
40,
Beyond me,
God,
the
Yeah,
woman
that's
in
a
this
lot of
situation
days.
who should know what's going on.
She was not lying.
He was the one that prompted me to go get a test because he felt that I was pregnant. And when we found out, it was a shock. I'm the type of person when in my relationships, I make very clear my positions on how I am with abortion and pregnancy and child rearing. I'm very transparent in that matter because there should be no room for error in that case, but that's because I'm fortunate enough to be educated in that manner. I'm a volunteer with Planned Parenthood, so I knew the resources available to me, and at that time, when I did conceive, it was not when I was on birth control, and so
Hold on.
partially,
Can you pause?
Yeah, I got you.
Quick. I heard her talk about an organization
Planned
that
Parenthood.
I am not a fan of, and like we've talked about, like it's kind of like
Yeah, we've discussed it a little bit.
it's just
Yeah.
not a scam, but like it's just we're putting and dumping so much money into that.
Into it when we could yeah.
Dude, yes, I know.
Yeah.
And like just her like people being like so open and like thinking like Planned Parenthood is like doing good. It's literally like it's one of the things that's like destroying the family.
Yeah.
Like Waller says, it's crazy.
Yeah, I agree.
But we can keep going. Sorry.
No, you're good. I agree with you because no, I'm not even. I could spiel on it for hours, but I'm not going to because we need to finish this.
For the circumstances that led to the conception of that pregnancy, although I'm very grateful and I'm very appreciative that I had access to this form of health care, it was something that I grieved heavily. It was something that my boyfriend grieved heavily. We were not ecstatic to have done this. We were
See, there's
not
two sides
happy
to it.
that we had to make this choice. But
She
because
has
of our
plans
humanity and
as
like
individuals, as
Yes,
adults.
she's
about it, and
humane.
like
Life plan is to get married,
yes,
is
She's
to
a
complete
yeah.
school, and to maximize our chances of being the parents that we want to be. I felt it irresponsible to be selfish and say, well, I want a baby and I don't want to make that hard choice to terminate. But when you think of somebody else, and that would have been another individual, you have to think what's best for them if they were to be born. And I'm not in a position to where I could emotionally, financially, nor physically provide for a child. Whereas if I would do the hard thing now, later on down the line, when
Alright,
I
can you pause
improve
it one more
myself
time?
Yes,
into
because I would like to talk too, but you go
this
first.
is this is a really big topic, and like we're seeing the contrast of two sides here. So the first girl, boom, right off the back, no shame, just completely like no remorse in doing it, just completely like her decision. But this girl, on the other hand, she has a very more like I would say comparable, like you can compare yourself to her
Relatable.
as relatable. She's a very relatable person, and saying like she wasn't ready, she doesn't have the money, you know. It
Yeah.
really like it's hard. Like I'm not for abortion or anything like that, but it's very hard to differentiate between those two people because some people do use those abortions for reasons like this. And I'm
Yeah.
not saying it's good or anything, but I'm saying like I understand how some people are not blinded but have different perspectives on it, and it really
Yeah.
is
I agree.
eye-opening
I
right
agree
there.
with what you're saying. I will say that, like, I don't completely disagree with what she's saying, but I will say there are better options than an abortion. For one, put them up for, or you can put them up for adoption. You put your child up,
Yep.
to an orphanage, or, I mean, I guess that's the only option, but like Waller was telling us about it the other day, it's easier to put a kid up for adoption than it is to adopt a kid. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And there's
No, you go. You
no,
go.
well, I mean, it's just like I understand the position she was in, and I'm not gonna say I respect her decision because I think she could have went a better way about solving the problem, but
With her situation and everything that was going on
it was
with
an
her,
unfortunate situation for
it's
sure.
it's you can almost relate to her
But
a
yeah,
little bit. Not
but
relate, but like
no, I know
because
you can relate to her absolutely. Everybody goes through adversity. They go through a point in their life where they really have to truly focus on themselves, and before
yeah, and especially us now as seniors, like us having like a life ahead of us and
yeah,
everything. Like
exactly. So,
I can see how that is like
but
daunting. And
I still don't agree with her aborting her baby. I think she should have put the baby up for adoption, or not aborted it.
yeah.
Anyways,
Do you want to skip to the part with the when the males and everybody else comes in, kinda?
yeah,
Oh,
I'm
right there,
down.
perfect.
Let's just sit down here.
Because I
Oh.
don't see a
Then why are you bringing it up?
I would
Uh-oh.
also say that
Oh,
abortion
go back.
is
Yeah,
not
we'll bring it back a little bit.
Against
Uh-oh.
it's not
Uh-oh.
There's some
I got raped,
fire.
right? 4 years ago. I
Here we
got
go.
raped from rape. I was raped for
Okay.
years of my life. I have physical symptoms of that. I have reproductive issues as a result of that. But I think it's important to say that babies like my daughter Rachel, as I talked about before, and babies like my daughter Mira, who I got pregnant with consensually, are the same. They're DNA-wise, there is nothing different in the DNA, the human DNA, between a baby who's conceived in rape and a baby who's conceived consensually.
So you're telling raped women that they should be having their children? Are you going to make that decision for women that are raped just because your experience, you think that it ended up being a good idea for you to have these children? Are you then going to stand here and say that all raped women should have their children?
Are you going to stand here and say that children who are conceived in rape are somehow
okay.
different than children who are conceived consensually?
No, because I don't see a
Then why are
difference.
you bringing it up?
I would also say that abortion is not evidence-based care for rape victims. There's no research that shows that the outcomes
Okay,
of
pause,
rape
pause, pause,
victims
pause,
getting
pause.
an
We
abortion
gotta
are-
touch on that.
No, you're good,
We
you're
gotta
good, you're
touch
good.
on that. All right. Whoa! I have not seen her once, and she came with the fire.
Oh
Good
yeah.
hit. I
What's her
love
name?
it.
Isla?
But Isla.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's her name.
Isla.
Dude, she came in
Yeah,
talking,
she
and
came in hot.
I agree with her a little bit on this touchy matter again. Like a rape victim. I I'm that is awful that that happens in this world and everything. But if a baby does come out of it, it is made in the same way that it would be, as Isla said in her words, the
Hmm.
same when it would be consensually, you know?
Yeah.
And the baby still comes out the same. It's still healthy baby, and it's really not fair to make the choice for another human being, as we'll say, like in the stomach, like the fetus or whatever, like that it did come in this world and God blessed us with their presence, like in that much of a sense, like that baby should be granted like life and be able to live.
I
And
understand.
even if you don't want to be around the baby, like I get that, but
Yeah, I understand completely what you're saying. I will say that, or I'm gonna piggyback off of Charlie Kirk real quick because I heard him one time debating about abortion, and he was talking about how a baby conceived from rape is essentially, so pregnancy, no matter what, is a beautiful thing. You know, like the birth of a child, beautiful thing. And he was talking about how essentially in the dark of that whole situation, like the darkness, how, you know, everything that happened, the child that comes out of it is the true light in that, like it's the one good thing that comes out of the whole terrible situation. And
there's always a positive to a
and
negative.
Charlie said it, and I agree with him. I think, or he said that two wrongs don't make a right. You shouldn't follow evil with evil. You should follow evil with good.
Hmm.
And I agree with him. I think I don't think more violence should, or not violence per se, but I don't think death is a
Taking it out of the
viable
world and
option.
death, yeah,
Yeah, exactly. I don't think it should
I
come
agree.
down to that. Anyways, let's get back to it.
Than those who do not. So if we want to go purely based off of medical science and evidence-based care,
No.
yeah, I will push back that we do have statistical evidence that shows that women who have access to abortion and in societies where abortion is accessible, there is an overwhelming decrease in the amount of abortions obtained, and there's also an increase in the economic, emotional, and physical advancements of the people who have access to that care. And I will acknowledge, because I do think that what was inside of me, what was inside of you, what was inside of you, I personally believe it is a life. It is. I mean, I held mine in my hands, but to equate that to me, an already birthed human being, this thing, I have a photo of it in my phone. I was going to bring my ultrasound as well, but I thought that would be
I don't like
triggering
that
for
she's
some
referring
people.
to it as
But
an it.
what I possessed in my hands,
I
when
am,
I
because
took
I
it
don't know
out
what
of my
gender it is.
hands, when I expelled it from my body, I think it is ludicrous to equate that to me. There was no head, there was no arms, there was no legs, there was nothing there.
How far along were you?
I
It
was
was a beating
5
heart.
weeks and 7 days.
You were 5 weeks and 7 days.
Yes, and I
I
had the privilege.
Do you know that at 5 weeks a baby has a heartbeat?
It does
Okay,
not.
First
It
of
does.
all,
It does not.
heart-
It's-
It has a two-chambered heart.
no, heart cells
Does
can
not.
beat in a petri dish if you remove it.
Oh,
Heart cells,
wow.
It's
We
electrical
just got
impulses,
angry.
But, I mean,
Someone just
when
got
we talk about life, and this is
confused.
my
So that's what a
personal
heartbeat is now. It's just electrical impulses. It doesn't make a darn. If it's beating, it's just electrical impulses.
Yeah, it's just like, oh my gosh.
Oh, we gotta move to the next one, or we'll be here forever.
I get like, yeah, I get like you as a person don't remember that like portion of yourself, but like that right when the heartbeat is there, there is life. It is growing. It is becoming a creation, you know? So
Yeah.
it's just insane. But we'll
That's
go to the next
rough.
topic, yes, sir.
Okay, here we go.
All right.
I'd rather abort a child than put them
Ooh, this
into
is a
foster
good
care.
Uh-oh.
topic. Good topic. Oh my God!
Come on, Daphne.
Look, go back. Let's look at
I'd
Isla.
rather
Everyone-
apologize.
Does
Look at
she
her little smirk.
does she
Look at
make
her little
does she smirk? I wasn't even paying attention. She
Look
put her
at her
head
face.
down as soon as.
Look, she looks straight at Isla. Look at Isla.
Oh no, Isla, there's some beef. She's kind of hot. Daphne is.
And this is like I didn't consider this until I myself was put into that situation where it's not just get pregnant, put the kid in the foster system. It's that again, like I said, 9 months of pregnancy, and I would not go through those 9 months of pregnancy, even though if I had the option of giving my kid up to the foster care system, like you have to still go through those 9 months of pregnancy. It's not just you can just drop it off.
So she's making it about herself, essentially. She's saying,
Oh, she just
She doesn't-
go through
she-
I
everything.
feel like first,
Yeah.
before we get into this
But I feel like
conversation,
if
we
you-
establish how foster care works.
I'm sorry, Brayden. I don't want to interrupt you, Brayden, but I feel like if you don't want to go through the 9 months of pregnancy, why don't you wear a condom or,
Boom.
use birth control?
Boom. And I feel like, and if it does accidentally happen, that is 100% your fault, and you, like, your for the actions that you took, you have to take those
Yeah,
consequences.
she acts like she holds
Whatever they
zero
are.
responsibility for getting pregnant, and then she just acts like it's the baby's fault and kills it, or kills
Like
them.
it wasn't supposed to happen.
Yeah.
And she said basically like a human being getting killed and leaving this world is better than it living and maybe growing to even be like a millionaire someday. Some of the like greatest people in the world like came from like the greatest like backstories, like where they were not even supposed to make it, like
They
ever,
were
you know?
nothing. Yeah. Oh,
Exactly. Like people,
Classic
that's how
underdog.
America dream. That's the American dream.
It's literally the
Like,
American
you
dream.
can
Start
make-
from nothing, you build up to something.
You can make your own life if you try hard enough. Like
If you
it's
work
that-
hard and be good.
Yes.
Yeah.
you can make your own life.
That's
So,
literally how
that's-
our like country was founded. It was founded under the
And
thought
new,
of
like-
Christianity and just
Just
hard work.
Hard work.
Hard
baby, hard
earned work, earning your keep. You know?
Exactly.
Anyways, let's run it back. I'm sorry. It's just there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah,
So
it's a
within
good
the system,
topic.
I understand
Guess
how
how long our
parents-
stream's been,
parents
Ethan?
are-
Huh?
were
Guess how long our
foster parents, I
stream's been?
understand. The system is
What?
not something you can
32
really
minutes.
for your child for, not like the adoption system. Foster care is a system with the government to protect children who are in unsafe environments, that they see the child as being in
We'll
an
cut it
unsafe
off soon.
environment. My mother
Yeah.
was a
Well, no,
drug
this is the last
addict.
topic.
We were living
Anyways.
in government housing. We were homeless multiple times. My mother was severely addicted to alcohol, just not at a time in her place where she could really have a family, but she did have a family. And so my grandmother came and watched us. And my grandmother, over time, just really was convicted, because she was a devout Christian woman, of the reality that this is no environment for a child to grow up in, and she wanted to do something, if anything, to help us have a better life. And she knew financially she could not take us in, but she wanted to do something. So she called CPS, and CPS came and took me and my siblings away. Now, did I have the best experience of foster care? Absolutely not. I still live today with bruises and sores on my body from foster care. And I was in there up until I was 19 months old. I was a baby, but it still affects me to this day. And I really struggle when I hear people say that, like, a child in foster care is somehow less valuable because of the way that the government treats children in foster care, because I just don't think that's a correct opinion to have. To treat a child as less valuable is dehumanizing, and I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm 1,000% against dehumanization of any human being whatsoever.
I don't think anyone is saying that foster care kids are less valuable, though. Like, you didn't mean that, did you? No, nobody's saying that. I just wanted to make that clear.
There we
You
go,
have
Joey.
uterus.
Make
I
it
do not
cute.
have a
You do not have a uterus. So I'm not saying that your opinion is
Alright.
invalid or that you should not be included in this discussion, but I'm saying that that's important to keep in mind, is that you could never be in this position of having to decide whether you in your body want to keep and raise a child.
Joey, you have sex with women.
For
Why are you talking?
because you're pro-choice, and I'm standing here in where
strong
where a
word.
fetus cannot.
Killing a
Strong
fetus, so
word.
it's not a strong word.
Wait, go
It's
back,
really
go back, go
not.
back, go
And
back.
Could I just finish my
I
statement?
missed it. I missed it. I
Do you
missed
have a
it.
uterus?
Yeah, he's talking about the slaughter.
I'm
He's-
saying that your your opinion
he
is
came
invalid
back
or that
with
you should not be
a
included in this discussion, but I'm saying that
with
that's
the fire.
important to keep in mind is that you could never be in this position
Also,
of having to decide whether
Jojo.
you in your body want to keep and raise a child from your body.
You are arguing for the slaughter of human beings because you're pro-choice. And I'm standing here in
Strong
where
word.
a fetus could not.
Killing a
Strong
fetus, so
word.
it's not a strong word.
It's really not. But could I just finish
That's
my
what it
statement?
means. I mean,
We're standing here in defense.
hold on, pause,
of
pause,
children
pause,
because
pause,
they do not
pause,
get-
pause. I'm gonna go with Brandon here real quick, and how a fetus is basically like killed and like retracted from the uterus is, I'm pretty sure it's just like they stick like, it's almost like a tube, almost, and it's like like it sounds weird, but it's
And they
like they
just grab.
suck the fetus
Yeah,
out of
it's like a
where it's
vacuum.
at. Like literally just crush it. Like think of like all the like stuff that like people that were like maybe 7 months, 6 months, like all the bones and like their body that like
Just soft,
is like
mushy, and it
growing.
just gets
It's just
squished,
literally
just crushed.
like going down a toilet drain, bro. Like that is the
Oh,
good
that,
definition of
dude,
saying slaughter.
that makes my
That isn't
that makes my stomach crawl, dude. I'm not joking. And I think there's
bad.
like other forms of abortion too. Like they have like a pill and it just like kills the fetus from the inside or something. I don't know how it works. You know,
There's several ways, but like
it's
there
like
are ways out there that are considered, I would say, are considered in the slaughter term.
I just like how our boy Joey's talking or girl whatever it is Jojo's talking about how Braden should just, be aware of that he's talking about abortion when he doesn't even have a uterus. However, Jojo has a uterus. No, sorry. Jojo has a uterus. However, she does not engage in sexual activities with men. Therefore, she will
So
never have
how-
anything in her uterus.
She has no idea, like any background information, like
They should ask Joey if she's ever been pregnant or ever, or ever like done anything with a dude. Oh, that'd be funny.
yeah.
Be like, have you had any personal experience with children or abortions or anything? Then why are you even here? Honestly, why is Joey there? I think she's just there because she's like the peacock. She's the eye candy.
Yeah,
She's
it's
kind of
more
hot.
like she's the man and the man.
She's like, yeah, I know what you're saying.
She's playing both sides, you know.
Yeah, she's playing offense
swapping
and defense. She's playing both sides of the ball,
Exactly.
except she's arguing for one side
Yeah.
and one side only.
Yeah. All right, let's get back on it.
voice because they do not have that voice because they are in the womb.
So then, are you going to adopt it? I'm assuming you will, right?
That's not an argument you can make because I am currently not in the financial place to have is a choice that I could make to become a foster parent. The issue is that becoming a foster parent is something that you register with the state. It's not as easy as just saying like, well, you can just one day become a foster parent. It is a long, tedious process. It's expensive.
It's not as easy as
Things that go into it.
putting a kid up for adoption.
They also, you guys
Oh
said
shit!
something to
Shoot,
me.
I'm sorry.
Who should have
Oh, we can't bleep it. I'm sorry.
action, but it's like the unborn don't have a voice. They're not yet able to like have a voice, but they are still human beings with dignity, and we ought to respect that. So I think it's like, I think we really need to sort of figure out, it's like, what are we talking about here? Because if abortion doesn't kill human beings, then no justification is necessary. However, if it does kill human beings, no justification is adequate.
I always say that if murder was happening at the rate
She
that
really
abortions
likes to give
happen
her
at, it
opinion
would
a
be
lot.
Armageddon. Like
Somebody's
it
got
is
to.
Just absolute women. I think it's like a quarter of women will have an abortion in their
Wish
lifetime.
it wasn't her.
If that was
Yeah, me
happening,
too.
if an eighth of the population was being murdered, then it would be the purge.
What do you think
Essentially,
we
is
should
the
destroy, though?
purge.
It doesn't affect you though. Like,
It doesn't affect us.
it doesn't. If I
Injustice
hadn't told
anywhere
you,
is
you
Pause
wouldn't
it.
know.
Injustice anywhere is
It's getting nasty.
He always says like it doesn't affect us. It doesn't affect you. Like it seems like she doesn't have a good concept of thinking about others and really like thinking about other people's lives and just what they're going through, you know? Like
Yeah.
even like the fetus or like little children, like it's
Yeah.
insane. Like she only thinks about
Yeah.
like herself and
I
like her
agree.
life. Like she lives in her own world.
And my question is what's gonna happen when she does have kids down the road and her kids see this video and they're like, oh my gosh, my mom could have aborted
Was
me
an
and she wouldn't have even
absolute
cared.
idiot. Yeah.
Yeah,
That
like,
too, but yeah.
or is she even gonna have children? Like, what? I don't know, man. She's got some twisted morals on her.
It's insane, like to know that like if her parent, like children saw this, like how does that make your child feel later in life, like that you weren't the first child, you know? Like
Yeah.
I know like I'm not in that situation, but like if you were in that situation, like what that would feel like, or like how you would feel, like you were supposed to have a like older brother or like older sister, like
Yeah, absolutely.
it's insane.
Well, are you how do we feel about wrapping our podcast up? Because probably won't even
Yeah,
we probably won't even watch this part. Honestly, we'll probably stop like halfway through.
yeah, I guarantee you we don't even watch this part. We're
But
gonna
but you
fine.
know what? We got it done. We just finished it. Let's go, Ethan.
Hey, good stuff. Yep. Well, thank you for watching our podcast. If we made it this far in Waller's class,
Yeah, thank you very
thank
much.
you for watching all the way through. Just give like, subscribe, comment, all that. But yeah, we'll see ya. We'll see you in the next
We'll
one.
catch you later.